How's it going, everybody, and welcome back. As you can see, we're working on the F150s again. I think this is part 4 of the series where we take all the good parts that we can off of this rolled over 1996 F150 and we swap them into this 1995 Eddie Bauer edition. So we'll be doing the 4-wheel drive conversion, a V8 conversion, bunch of different stuff to it. So if you haven't followed the other part of the series, the other videos, I'll kind of give you a little bit of an update. I did do some things off camera just to save a little bit of time and knock it out. But, if you want to watch the other videos to get caught up, you can check it out. I think the card is up there or something like that. Anyways, there are other videos. But let me show you what I did off camera and give you some tips that I learned that I didn't know about since I'm working on these trucks for the first time this time. But in case you're doing this yourself, maybe it'll help you out. So I did separate the engine and the trans, which I should have done before. So if you're doing this yourself, definitely take the trans off the engine before you pull it out of the truck. It'll make your life a lot easier. But I wanted to check out the throwout bearing and different things, and it was filled with a mouse nest, so I'm glad that I did all of that. I think there's still some mouse nests stuck in the clutch somewhere, but whatever, everything's good to go here. Last, I don't know, whatever video it was, we discovered that the core support was rotted out over in the corners where they rot out, and the bumper, so that's a bummer. And then we got a good fender on this side, no problems. And then, of course, on this side, it's got that weird rust spot, which I don't understand why it rusted out so bad there. But we got that, plus some damage here. So I ended up fixing all that, well, the core support part, by just painting the blue one. So I took the core, this is the core support out of the blue truck, sanded it down real quick, didn't even do much, painted it with some Cora Seal, which is the brush marks, primed it, painted it. So there we go. This is the right paint color, EG. It's got a little bit of rust down there where they rust out, but by the time this core support actually fails, it's going to be years and years down the road. You can get these new for a little under $300, but I just opted to use a pretty decent one that I had, bought the paint and sprayed it. Now, as far as that filler panel, thanks to Rob, he had one laying around with the little air dam that I cut off. I cut up with the body saw last time. So thankfully Rob had this one laying around, just a little dent, no big deal, in the right color. So given the cost of this paint, e.g. electric current red metallic or something like that, it was $200 almost for a pint of that color. And it sprayed like a candy. It was real thin. So took a lot of paint. So painted that. And then I got a brand new fender. So we solved all those problems. I got this one pretty much painted. Got the underside painted. And then I ran out in here. I could only do a light coat basically, but it should be good enough. So we have a nice new fender. We got the filler panel. We've got the core support. We should be pretty much ready to go. If you're doing this job yourself, and, this was a 6-cylinder truck. This had the 300 inline 6 in it. This is what you're going to see. So this cross member here will have these motor mount pads on it. So they're like right in the center of this cross member, and they bolt in. All right, so that's 6-cylinder stuff. V8 stuff's a totally different deal. These are the mounts for this side, for the V8. And they mount to the back side of this cross member on the inside. So these two bolt holes here correspond with those two bolt holes in the frame right there. This side is riveted onto the frame with a bunch of rivets. So top, side, all that stuff riveted on. So if you're going to be doing this, be prepared to get out a torch or spend a bunch of time with a grinder to grind the rivets off on the back side. Now this one, same deal. It connects to the back side, so those two holes right there correspond with these two holes right there in the mount. So it mounts up that way to the back side of this cross member. Now this one is bolted in. Whether it was bolted in from the factory, I don't know. Maybe it was changed at some point and they bolted it in. Maybe it's riveted from the factory. I don't know. But this one I had to torch off because, the bolts were totally rusted and stripped, but it is what it is. It was bolted in when I found it. So I'm just going to pull these things off when it comes time. We've got the V8 motor mounts ready to go. It takes 1/2-inch hardware, the grade 8 bolts if you want to, do this yourself, so you'll need some 1/2-inch bolts in order to bolt it back onto the frame because I can't rivet it and I don't want to weld them on. So that's pretty much it. That's what you'll need to know if you want to do a V8 conversion. Now that transmission should be exactly the same as that transmission, the Mazda 5-speed, except for the fact that this is a 4-wheel drive and this one is a 2-wheel drive. So everything should be good. I pulled all the wiring out of the old truck, so we should be pretty solid. We're going to need a new master cylinder, or the clutch master. I'll just take it off the blue truck because that one looks a little bit bent. Oh, one more thing that came up that you might need to know, or I definitely need to know. You look in there, you see we've got a single shock and then a spring, and then look at how that shock tower is shaped, right? Well, here's the 4-wheel drive version, which I don't know if it's all 4-wheel drives are like this or what, but this is the dual shock version. It's a totally different mount. Unfortunately, these mounts are just wasted. Look at the holes through it. Not just there, but all through it. In here, everywhere. So these are junk. I couldn't save them if I wanted to. I don't know if this is 4-wheel drive stuff or if these are just like it's a special package that Ford offered where it had dual shocks or not. But I did find these for sale online. They're about $100 a piece. For a right one, then $100 for a left one. But they're like almost $60 or something a piece for shipping. So I don't know. I don't think that it's going to matter if I use single shock or whatever. But I do want to save the rough country lift and use it. But one thing to keep in mind is, this is the rust that came off of these shock towers. Look at how thick and crazy it is. It's insane. So I don't know if this is a product of, like the undercoat or the E-coat or whatever they use where, some people will spray bed liner on their stuff or the undercoating and then it holds moisture inside of it and it looks great from the outside, but it's completely destroyed inside because it just rots from the inside out and it looks fine. But, whatever. Look at that. Straight through, you can see the ground there. I can't even believe it didn't break off. But it is what it is. So, if you're going to undercoat your frame or put bed liner on it, be prepared to have it rot from the inside out. So, I don't know what we'll do as far as this thing goes, if we're going to go ahead and, buy these twin shock towers and swap them over. Maybe that's something I can do at a later date. I don't think that it'll really matter with this truck because I'm not going to be doing any hardcore off-roading with it or anything. So I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments. Is that dual shock thing a 4-wheel drive deal with Ford? Is it part of a certain package, or is that something that someone put on their own? Well, actually, I think it's riveted on. It is. I can see some rivets down there, or at least what I think are rivets back in there. So I know it's hard for you guys to see because it's so dark, but this must be something from Ford. I don't think anybody in their right mind would be riveting stuff onto their truck in their home shop. So let me know if it's worth getting that, that dual shock upgrade deal or whatever it is. Maybe there's something about these trucks that they really benefit from having additional shocks in the front or whatever. I've never had one before. I've never really ridden in one. So if there's something special that makes it really worth it, let me know, and then I'll get those ordered up. Otherwise, I'll probably just roll with what we've got. Well, all right, I've been picking away at it little by little, just trying to get the motor mounts off. So I've got the 6-cylinder mounts off. They're just laying down there. And, I got the bolt holes here, which will work. But I did notice that this one rivet right here has to be ground off in order to make the V8 mounts work. The transmission, I'm going to pull that next. You can see it's got that weird nut stud deal there for the shifter, so I'm going to try to save that this time now that I kind of have a better idea of what it is. And this is what it looks like. It's a weird, I guess a cam type of a thing. Maybe it turns in and locks it somehow and locks the shifter on. Just seems like a bizarre way to make it, but as you can see, I kind of gnarled it up when I tried to get it out. Then I did mention before, I was like, man, I'm surprised that there's no mice living in here. Well, there are mice living in here. So when I pulled the radiators and all the junk that was stored in here out, it's got a bunch of mouse crap all over. I don't see it behind the seat, so it must be underneath the seat. So I'm going to do a little bit of vacuuming, get everything out, get the transmission pulled, and then get ready to, I guess, mount the engine in there. Well, it's been storming here in Michigan again. Ditch is totally full. We're a little bit swamped. Thankfully the Rusty Ram isn't completely underwater or it'd probably fall apart the rest of the way. I just wanted to come out and, I mean, this is hours later, so it's went down quite a bit. But yeah, it's pretty soggy out here. It's kind of hard to do things around here when you can't walk out to the shop because it's full of water. So we got probably, I don't know, that's probably 8 inches deep over there. We're up to the second pallet over there and that stuff. I got to clean all this crap out. It's been too wet. Yeah, I got these wood chips to try to, I don't know, raise up this area. You can see how low it really is, but I don't know. Whatever. The old Dodge is sitting out here. Got an armful of stuff for some projects I'm working on, helping the neighbor with the lawnmower. I got a sweet little boat, which for pretty cheap. I guess I'll need that pretty soon since, you know, we're basically underwater here. Yeah, anyhow, it's just the way it goes out here, I guess. So out here in the back, it's pretty bad. And it's always been kind of swampy out here, but these last few years have been brutal. The avalanche is over the wheel in water. I don't know, there's nowhere really to move it to, unfortunately. It's just really low out here. And sadly, my brand new $200 Keens, 180 or whatever they were, already falling apart. Steel toe. And this one is leaking water right into my socks. So I don't know what you can get for 200 bucks anymore, but I won't be buying Keens again. They're kind of crappy. Anyhow, I can feel it sloshing around in my shoe, so I'm gonna head back in and try to get some stuff done. Anyway, quick update on the old weather. It's 60 degrees out, so it went from being 87 or something like that yesterday to 60 today. Good times. All right, I'm back from Power Tour. I went for a couple of days. Let me tell you how this thing works. So this bolt here, or this whole shaft inside of there is a tapered, conical looking weird, you saw it, it's bizarre. The way it actually comes off, I found, is you have to take this nut off of here, back it all the way off, and you put it on this side and tighten it up. And when you tighten it up, it pulls that tapered shaft out and pulls that pin, or whatever you want to call it. So, I don't know if you can see very well. I guess I can't get it. Okay, 17 millimeter. So there we go. She's off. And then you put it on this side and tighten her up. Oh, we're cross-threaded. That's awesome. That's just what you need. Should have checked that by hand. So what we can do to fix that is we'll tighten it on reversed, drive it all the way through. Bummer, I can't use the ratchet, but we'll just tighten it up and it'll clean up those threads all right. Can you believe I don't have a 17 millimeter wrench? Well, I couldn't either. But apparently it's true. Well, let that be a lesson to you. Always start them by hand. Well, I thought I could use my little stubbies, but it goes from 15 to 18. So, whatever. I knew I shouldn't have tried to start that with the ratchet. There we are. I think that'll work. Hey, working great now. Look at that. Ooh. So apparently that's how it works, I guess. I don't know why it stopped so abruptly. Go ahead and smack it with the old brass hammer. There we go. Yeah, nice. I didn't ruin this one. Well, there we go. It's in a lot better shape than the other one was. So, you know, we'll throw this in the top box here, and I'll lose it. And just remember where it's at. There we go. So now the shifter will pop right out. It should. So now the shifter should come right out. Hey, won't you look at that? Oh, yeah, check it out. Brand new Ford quad shock mounts. Forgot to show you guys that. Anyhow, we're out. Yeah, I got these. Some of my buddies hooked me up with these. I mean, I still had to pay for them, but they were way cheaper than buying them online. These are, I think, I don't know, 80 or 100 bucks a piece, and then there's a bunch of shipping involved. But I ended up getting these for a good deal. Anyway, these come with bolts instead of, you know, the rivets and stuff, because you can't really rivet stuff on. But here we go. You can see kind of how it looks. So it kind of has like a sweep to it. These kind of go like that. So I don't know if that's all just rust that has fallen into here and is just kind of stopped along this ridge, or if it's rusting out on this truck like that other blue one that's peeking out there. But anyhow, we got brand new quad shock towers to go with this truck now. So when we do the four-wheel drive conversion, it'll be a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and put this thing up on the lift, and we're going to pull this trans out. See, now the brakes are kind of stuck on this truck. You can just grab yourself a pry bar, stick it under the front tires, and move it back. So I can get it up onto the hoist. I think that should be good. Is that thing on? Is this thing on? It is. All right. Well, I've never used this trans jack before, this particular one. I got it off Marketplace. So hopefully it doesn't fall on our head and kill us. It's coming down. Trans in the back is loose off of the cross member. Just need to strap her down. It's not really a great way to do that here. I don't have a chain. I got to get like a little eyelet put on this side. So you can see this side has the hook on it to chain it over the top. And then this side is missing it. There's just an eyelet there. So I'll probably just find something to hook in there. We could just use a bolt or whatever to throw a chain over the top. All right, you might be able to see. Let's put a little eyelet on it. So a chain won't go through. Freaking great. Well, this side might. Yep. So, and then on the other side there. Freaking trans fluid right in my mouth. Ooh, turned out pretty good. Let's tip her up a tad. There we go. Now it won't be in our mouth as much. There we are. Alright, we'll just tighten down this one, this clamp here. The wing nut shouldn't go anywhere unless it slips, then it will. All over our heads. Alright, let's see how she goes. I don't don't know if you can see it over there or not, but I think we're out. Probably need to vacuum a tad. This thing will actually roll. Alright, tried to find a better spot for you guys. Not that it really matters. There's not much to it. There we go, we're out. My trans jack doesn't really go up high enough for me to be under there and stand up comfortably, so it is what it is. I think we're mainly out. Oh, the clutch. Alright, well I gotta disconnect the clutch right quick. Alright, so near as I can tell, I looked it up online, you have to pry this white sleeve back and it'll release the line, I guess. Looks like it's kind of pushed back, don't it? There's supposed to be some teeth back in there. It's like a push connect compression fitting type of deal. Well, come on now. So this whole brass part comes out apparently. Maybe a screwdriver. Word on the street is that this is the harder style one. It's the earlier one. Doesn't have the clip like the 95 or 96 that we were working on. And the clip is the nice one, which this will ultimately be replaced by that. But I like having spare parts. This worked. Well, I don't know. Maybe there we go. I guess maybe it didn't work. I don't know. I'm assuming it works. Okay, so that's how that works. All those like little fingers in there. Okay, they bite down on this part here. So you just have to slide that collar down and open those things up and it'll pop off. So anyway, we got it out. We didn't break anything. So now we can finish taking the trans out. Toy. And there we are. Done. It's kind of a crappy thing about this trans jack is it's, you know, it's kind of tall, but it also doesn't have like a long length. Alright. One, what, M5 something? I think is what they are, Mazda. A Mazda transmission. I don't know. You guys can let me know what it is. I think it's called an M5. It should still be good. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything wrong with it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you can split them here and take this tail shaft off. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's an output shaft that needs to be longer or something, but I'm not sure exactly what you got to do in order to make one of these work, but I think they're the same transmission. This one is updated to have that little clip, like, you know, it's way nicer than the little compression fitting deal. But hey, I would be shocked if this transmission was bad, so I'm sure it's good. I didn't realize that they were filled with automatic transmission fluid in a manual. That's a first for me, but hey, maybe it is, because, you know, it was leaking on me the whole time. I thought it had gear lube in it, like my old school stuff, but apparently not. Alright, let's take a better look at these shock towers now that it's up in the air. We got these two rivets here, a couple on the bottom. I'm sure there's some on the front. There's one, probably one up at the top. So at least we know roughly what we're doing, what we're getting into whenever that time comes. You know, I'm showing you that I was going over the frame and stuff and kind of getting the big flaky rust off of it, and I was going to maybe paint the frame, but I think I'm going to bail on that idea just because it's so much work, and I just don't have that much time. I thought it was in a little bit better shape than this, but it might have just been because it sat out in good old Michigan Michigan rain and stuff for a while. So it's a lot of scale. So I'm not going to spend any time on this. It's going to take forever if I do it. So what I will do though is once we get it driving and shaken down, then I'll power wash it super good, and then I might just have it under oiled. I think that would probably be fine. It's not a show truck, it's just a driver. So, okay. Now we can lower it down a little bit and start putting these mounts on. There we go. Good enough. So here she is. Our new 5.0. Oh man. There we go. Fixed it. Where should we go on the inside? What do you think? Well, I guess it's not totally done. It probably went in pretty easy. Nope, I guess not. Dang it. Sketchy. Look at that. Nice. Got some room now. Alright, I'm going to put some fans under here. She's a little bit bouncy. I don't really know if the lock washers are necessary, but I don't suppose it could hurt. Although Mortsky does say that these split washers are junk and they don't work and it's proven or something, I don't know. We're going to use them anyway. I would imagine that this is going to be fine. I mean, the other side was bolted in, right? So who cares if one more side's bolted in? I got this 3/4, which is what it is. Well, motor mounts are in. Really not a big deal. There's the 4 on that side. This side, like I said, was already bolted in from the factory. I don't think it was ever replaced. And then here's this one. They're all nice and tight, so we're good to go. So as far as I know, we should be able to, snake the engine in there, because I don't think there's anything else that we really need to do. Oh, I need to do the rear main seal on that. That's right. And here it is. Felpro BS 40644 rear main seal set for a 302. So anyway, that's what it looks like. I got this one with the installer. It's got like that little plastic installer ring so you don't tear the lip seal. So we'll go ahead and put that in. All right, well, pop this clutch off. I guess we can look at the clutch disc. It's got quite a bit of meat on it. Doesn't look too bad. Flywheel's alright. I'll run it. It didn't feel bad when I was driving it last, so it'll be fine. I kind of torched the bolts on the bottom. They wouldn't really come off. I don't know if that was on camera or not, but they're like rusted right into the block. So we'll get a look at it here in a minute. But pull the flywheel. Bearing feels alright. Not like the 41 Ford that was totally seized up. So that's good. I guess I could have put another one in, but it's fine. I'll throw some grease in it, I guess. and no big deal. Red Loctite, so just remember to put that back on. Ugh. Doggone mosquitoes are freaking fierce. There we go. And there's our rear main. Cottonwood. Oop. Hopefully I didn't scratch anything, because that would be bad. Hey, there we go. And out she comes. Let's see, couple little tiny marks, not gonna lie to you. Yep, kind of went off a little bit, so that won't be good. I'll just hit it with some emery cloth and we'll hope for the best. If it leaks, it won't leak much. Alright, all I got is some, what is it, 2000, I think? 2000 grit. Just take the edge off, any burrs. I think we'll be okay. Can't even feel it anymore at all, so that'll be okay. It'll be fine, considering that this is a unknown 302. Well, not unknown, but mostly unknown. I don't know how many miles are on it. I forgot to look. I think it's close to 200,000. I'll probably look back through some videos and see. But I think it's like close to 200,000. Might be over. I got a fresh 302 sitting in the shop, or not in the shop, in the storage container for it. And I really don't think that we caused any real damage to this crank. Alright, according to this, it says to put the seal in dry, don't lubricate anything. So I think it's Teflon is PTFE. Seal must be installed dry. Do not lubricate seal lip or the crankshaft. So I don't know if we could necessarily lube up the outside to make it a little easier to go in there. Don't know. Actually, this feels like it's going to be a hard fit anyhow. I don't have a seal driver that's even remotely big enough for this thing. Alright, there we go. This side's already starting to go in. We should give her a little tappy tap on this side. This is an aluminum block. Nothing too spectacular. There we go, we're starting to go. Get this edge. Well, I wish this thing was up in the air a little bit so I could actually see. There we go. Feeling pretty good. So, there we go. Seems pretty much on the money to me. Maybe a little bit more at the top. There we go. One rear main seal installed. Alright, we'll just take a little bit of this white lithium grease too. Just a little bit. Put it up inside of here for the bearing. I don't really know if this will do anything, but it's a little bit of something. It's better than buying another one. There we go. It'll be just fine. There we go. I readjusted the engine. What's this stuff? Bunch of fuzz. Make it a little bit easier to see. So there is a dowel hole on it. Oh man. But I don't see a dowel. Should have marked it. I think we're good. I need to clean these bolts though. They fell in some grime. Yeah, so that's the one. I'll just go ahead and torque these down once I clean them. There we go. There we go. That's basically brand new. Blow it out with some air. Alright, go ahead and slap these things back in. Freaking cottonwoods, man. Okay, running out of red Loctite. Alright, I think I was using a 3/4. Yep. Alright. I have it set to like 83 or something. Yeah, I figured this was going to happen. Alright, I lowered the engine down some. Maybe it'll bite into this since I don't have a good way to do this. Torque stick would probably be good. Maybe. Oh, there we go. We got one. Well, let's lower it down a little bit more. Get her to cradle right into these things. Well, that should work. Or not. That's funny. Alright. That's 83. That's 83. That's 83. That's 83. 83. 83. Good. Phew! Onions. Now I'll remember that I torqued them, so I don't have to look at the video. Alright, on to the clutch. There we go. And then, according to the interwebs, this should be 12 to 24 for the pressure plate. Oh, I don't have an installation tool. Frick. I don't know, they might have one up at the parts store. I'll give them a call. Well, alright, I just ran up to the store and got this tool, pt.4. So now we can at least put the clutch back on. FC10, I don't know what that means, but should work just fine. Yeah, note to self, don't do this on the floor anymore. This hurts. Let's see. Look at that. Alright. Does it fit? Oh, there's a mouse nest in there. Dang it. Yes, sir. Alright. Nice. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see if you can see. We're full up on mouse nest in there. I could probably try to blow it out some. Well, we'll see if anything even comes out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, something came out. See how we look? Oh, we got a bunch in here still. We're going to call that good. As the springs cycle in and out, it'll fall out or burn up or whatever. So, not all that concerned with it. Alright, and these are 12 to 24 foot-pounds. That's what they call for. 9/16. We'll just run a little bit of red Loctite down on these two. I don't think you have to use them on clutch pressure plates, but we're already here. Actually, I don't think you're supposed to use red Loctite on them. But whatever. We're rebels. Well, there's a spring lock washer. Mortski's favorite, so I guess Ford's using those on their clutches. I don't know. Who knows? This clutch might have been replaced at some point. Probably has. I don't know. I mean, it didn't look like that clutch had 200,000 miles on it. Alright, what did I say it was? 12 to 25? 12 to 24 foot-pounds. Pretty close to the bottom of the scale on this thing. I don't really like to use them when they're basically unloaded almost, but it'll be alright. Man, it doesn't take much. Goodness gracious. It doesn't even feel like they're tight. It's already clicking. That's 24 foot-pounds. Alright, well, she's on. Daggone mosquitoes. Oop, there we are. Man, look at that. I didn't even get it dirty. Should return this sucker. It's like 12 bucks, so I don't know. I'll keep it. You never know. Might work on that other 302 at some point. Alright, we got our main seal done, our clutches on, all that stuff. It should be pretty much ready to go back in the truck. I might have another wiring harness for that kind of crusty burn-up harness that's on there. I'll just have to look around and see. I'm going to knock out a couple of the small things like the HVAC system and all that I got to still put on while we've got all this room. There's a video on that. You know, if you want to watch that, there's a card up there. I'm not going to film it because I've already done it. That's basically it. We should be ready to put the engine and trans and stuff in there next week. Now, I know a young guy that just graduated from high school. He's got a couple of automotive certs already, but doesn't have a lot of like hands-on, bigger experience like what we're doing here. So he's going to come in and we're going to do the engine and trans together. So that should work out. I think you'll like him. He's a cool guy. So hopefully next week we can have the engine and trans and everything in there. I'm going to leave you off with, you know, this video now because honestly, I've been so busy I don't even know what's in this video until I start editing it. That's how crazy it's been. And I've got to clean this mess up. This place is a complete wreck. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sorry for leaving you kind of with an abrupt ending here, but it wasn't planned. It's just, I think the engine installation is a better place to start the next video, I think. So anyhow, we're going to just do it that way and see what happens. I appreciate you watching. I'll catch you on the next one.